Let us put ourselves in the divine presence, the all-pervading presence of the source of life itself, abundant love, and the light of pure intelligence. Let us be aware of how and where we are seated. In front of you here, pictures and symbols of the highest ideals in the human journey towards perfection. Let us feel that we are surrounded by pure, unending love. Love of an infinite and unselfish and unchanging type. We can imagine it as a flow of radiant goodness, flowing toward us, flowing around us, and beyond us. This infinite good is always caring, always gracious. Its grace is evidenced as a flow of thought through the instrument of the mind. Its grace is felt in every limb and movement of the limbs. Its grace is found in every living cell of the body. Its grace is found in speech. Its grace is found in the capacity to catch the waves, the audial waves of sound. Its grace can be felt even now as this brief meditation is broadcast. Its grace is felt through the airwaves, through the radio waves, through the satellite waves, through the electromagnetic wave system itself. Its grace is felt where we are in the exact location in which we are sitting. Its grace is found as gravity that holds us down. Its grace is found in beauty and truth, in goodness and in harmony and inner peace. Its grace is found in the capacity to discern things, in the capacity to express things, in the capacity to see the specialness in art, in culture, the capacity to work things out and investigate. Such questions: what is life? How is it that the universe is full of rhythm, balance, knowledge? How is it that we find that within us is the capacity not only to look for, but to find perfection within us and within everything? So let us feel all this grace being poured into us. First of all, we can imagine like a waterfall of golden light being poured from above on the top of our head. We allow this great nectar of love to cover us, to saturate us from the top of the head, slowly down the body. And this is never ending. It is always present. It is always there. To the extent that we can feel the vibrancy at the top of the head. Let us spend a few moments feeling this vibrancy of pure love. We are loved, we are nurtured, we are cared for through this never-ending grace, The grace is felt in the heartbeat. It's felt in the rhythm of the breath. Let us now feel it in the breath. And this grace comes to us through that creative cosmic impulse. We can call this the sound symbol Om. Just mentally repeat this Om as we feel this continuous source of grace. Let us feel this Om, mentally repeating it as we are aware of the breath going in and the breath going out. Normally, we are not aware of our breath. But when we catch our attention and draw it to the movement and the mechanism of breathing, we suddenly become aware of what is required. First of all, oxygen-bearing air is required. A wonderful drama that divine nature plays. And then we have the ability to catch this air and to take its nutrient compositions such as oxygen and nitrogen and diffuse it throughout the entire body, delivering its cargo to every single cell. And the cell itself has the osmosis characteristics that can take this oxygen in This body is a great, great city, a great metropolis, a very complex system, well run, where everything is good and everything runs perfectly. Let us feel how all the cells of the body are charged with divine light, infused with love, and pulsating with life. How every behavior responds to the inherent intelligence, the light that is provided, the symbol of which can be the light of the sun itself. Let us feel the warmth and life and light that comes from this, so that we ourselves feel energized and alive. And the attention always focused on the grace that comes to this point of the machine, the breathing apparatus. Let us be attentive to the rise and fall of the breath. Just feel that it is a mere sample of the great cosmic ocean that is breathing all the time in a rhythmic flow. With this one sound, Om. Let us feel the presence of this cosmic existence in us as individuals. But let us also feel its unchanging and blessing and radiant nature beyond the borders of the body. taking shape as every name and every form, every individuality that occupies space and moves with time in the whole universe. Let us feel it. Let us feel the cosmic pulsation generated by the sound symbol Om. Let us feel it pulsating in every corner that we can think of, and in the infinite blackness of the night sky, and all the distant worlds that we come to know, and those which are way beyond it. Let us feel the rewards of such thoughts. Let us enjoy the bliss and nectar that comes to us by these very thoughts, by these very feelings. Let us make the whole world our own. Let us embrace it in a spirit of peace. Let this peace be a spreading quality that we find everywhere. And wherever we find any disturbances in this overall world, past, present, or future, let us smooth it out by understanding the deep nature of the profound ocean that underlines everything and underlines our own nature and is our own nature and is the nature of all, is the infinite invisible. Let us tune our attention increasingly into this infinite. We are approaching, in this earthly existence, ruled by the sun, the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. This is coming to us shortly. Here in Ireland, we have an ancient monument called Newgrange, where the builders of it, aligned to the forces of nature and the divinity therein, pay homage to this winter solstice by seeing how the sun rises and lights up the passage constructed for this once-a-year event. Let us take this symbol and feel that this infinite invisible is like the sun shining, lighting up our very soul, lighting up our very inner core, showing us the way, illuminating our life. Removing the darkness of ignorance within us, revealing the truth progressively until the pure light of knowledge shines within us. And at night, this same sun lights up the moon. And just as the moon has borrowed light from the sun, so our minds also have borrowed light from the infinite invisible. There are some who see the moon peeping over the profile of snow-capped mountains. Mountains are serene. It is a wonder in the drama of life that snow that seems so dead can melt. The light of knowledge in this way melts our ignorance, and the drama is that the snow, seemingly dead and cold and lifeless, melts away into flowing, glistening streams. And these streams flow down mountain sides and enter into vast valleys where water is collected from the sides until a vast surging river, wide in its breadth, life-giving in its movement, flows endlessly through mountain scenes on its way to the ocean. If we look carefully, we can see behind the mountain where all this drama began, a small crest of the moon peeping behind snow-capped mountains that look like the head of a meditating Lord. If we look carefully, the serenity of the mountain, the strength of the mountain, the unchanging nature of the mountain appears to us as an indrawn meditating figure with long flowing hair, naked like the yogis, echoing the color of the mountain, sitting in the jungle around, symbolized by a tiger skin, and in command of the three great evolutionary forces of nature that bind us so fast, carrying a trishula, that is, a three-pronged spear. How we long to have the deep meditation of this great yogi. Even the snakes and the ghosts find comfort in this form that we label to be auspicious, for this takes away our ignorance. Oh, glory unto this meditating, auspicious one, so still, so in dawn, with the eye of intuition in the middle of the forehead, sitting there, unaware, and yet inwardly fully aware, representing the nature of pure consciousness, the nature of pure bliss. Because of its presence, or because of his presence, snakes move energetically, and the whole of life vibrates with life itself, like music or musical strings that when plucked vibrate, affecting all the air around it. We can be assured that this figure is giving us a sign not to fear, and another sign that indicates a givingness. Let us sit as if we were this figure and explore the depth, the source of all this drama, where the great, great river has gone into the ocean, and where the heat of the sun has taken up water vapor, leaving the salt behind and forming clouds, and how those clouds gather, become darker and darker, moved around by the movement, the rotation of the earth itself. And the various pressure systems as it moves, until a great combination and a roaring thunder and the weapon of lightning burst forth into rain. And the rain falls down and soaks into the earth, reproducing life again. And falling as snow that seems cold and dead again, and thus is the cycle repeated. Let us fill our minds with thoughts that will evaporate and condense as beautiful, peaceful, harmonious scenes in front. For every thought has its condensation in this world of time and space. And thus the divine drama continues. Let us turn our thoughts, therefore, to our own deeper inner nature, the very depth that is represented by this abundant figure, this figure of auspiciousness that we call Shiva. And we can, by repeating Om Shivaya Namaha, greetings and salutations to that, we can set up vibrations in the outer body, in the inner energy systems of it, and in the mind and the intellect, until at the very source, the blissful base that sits within us, we sink down deeply into this, our own true nature. And there we only find sweet nectar and silence, a feeling of pure being with no body, no mind, no scene in front, no individual people, no places, no events, only pure, pure bliss. Let us see how this nearness has become oneness. Let us withdraw and sink down into the deep, deep recesses of our own being, where it's only existence and consciousness and bliss unending. Let us continue drinking the nectar of bliss. Do not get up from your seat in a hurry. Bask in the glorious radiance of your own being until you feel that you can awaken with a renewed sense of the divinity of everything in front, behind, and around, above and below, until you feel that all things are vibrating with this glorious life and light and love.